أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين. إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين. اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين. ربنا لا تؤاخذنا إن نسينا أو أخطأنا. ربنا ولا تحمل علينا إصرا كما حملته على الذين من قبلنا. ربنا ولا تحملنا ما لا طاقة لنا به واعف عنا واغفر لنا وارحمنا أنت مولانا فانصرنا على القوم الكافرين. صدق الله العظيم. والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Rise up, Mindanao, and rage against violence. Statement condemning the series of bombings in Mindanao and call for support to the ongoing Bangsamoro peace process. We strongly condemn the recent violence against innocent civilians committed in Mindanao by terrorists and other extremist groups, aiming to derail the ongoing peace process between the government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front. We join with all our fellow Mindanaoans and Filipino sisters and brothers in calling for swift justice and in application of the full extent of the law to bring those murderers and terrorists to justice. We rise up as Mindanaoans and Filipinos with rage in our hearts against these cowardly acts of violence. We will not cower in fear. We urge everyone to speak up against violence and with one voice say no to armed intimidations. We strongly believe that no amount of political cause could ever justify such immoral, evil, and cowardly acts against humanity. We must be constantly reminded that the Holy Quran denounces killing a human being and equates the slaying of one human life to that of genocide against the entire humankind. Chapter 5, verse 32 says, "If anyone slays a person, it would be as if he slew the whole people. And if anyone saved a life, it would be as if he saved the life of the whole people." While the Gospel of John, chapter 18, verse 11, condemns violence, Jesus said to Peter, "Put your sword to its sheath."
There's one more gift I would ask of you, Lord. It would be peace. You won't it would be peace in as gentle as no children's laughter all around, all around, all around.
Government of the Philippines and the Moro Islamic Liberation Front ongoing, we call upon the President and the current administration to reaffirm the values and principles that were signed in the framework agreement of the Bangsamoro. We also call on the Moro Islamic Liberation Front and the Moro National Liberation Front to work with our authorities to fast-track the investigations and identify the perpetrators of the bombings. Furthermore, we call on our authorities to respect human rights and to not resort to any forms of witch hunting and observe the true essence of due process to all Muslim civilians. This act of terrorism does not justify any form of discrimination towards any Muslim Filipinos in our country. We grieve with all the victims of the recent bombings. However, we fear that any military action without fully understanding the nature of the conflict cannot stop nor eradicate this terrorism.
We reiterate our support to the ongoing peace talks and call on other institutions to show their support in making lasting peace a reality for the Filipinos in the South. We are hopeful that this framework agreement on the Bangsamoro will benefit the people of Mindanao, and hence we call on dissidents to come to the table of dialogue and work together with the GPH and other groups in cementing the road to lasting peace. These recent spate of violence, aiming to derail the peace process, will only lead to an unending cycle of violence. It's high time to stop the rule of armed intimidation. If every movement of dissent were settled by the gun, Mindanao would only be empty of people. We call upon our leaders to to recognize that in order to address our problems of terrorism and discrimination, our nation must understand its root causes. We hold out the hope that this root causes can be addressed through non-violent means in a way that promotes peace and harmony through interreligious and intercultural dialogue between the Muslims and Christians. We call upon our fellow Mindanaoans to remain strong and have faith in God as He will guide us and protect us from evil. Rise up, Mindanao. Rage against this act of violence.
May we ask Father Joel Tabora, President of Ateneo Davao, to deliver his welcome address.
The Honorable Abdullah Sawawi Tahir, Consul General of the Malaysian Consulate, Most Reverend Fernando Tapaya, Bishop Emeritus of Davao and the head of the bishops, co-head of the bishops of the Mindanao Conference, the Very Reverend Antonio Moreno of the Society of Jesus, Provincial Superior, the various leaders, religious leaders of the Muslim community that are here present, all the distinguished guests, good evening to you all. It is a deep pleasure for me this evening to welcome you to this post-Eid al-Fitr celebration. We Christians come together here in unity with the Muslim community with a certain amount of awe that throughout these sacred days of Ramadan, you have every day fasted in a religious effort to come closer to God, to free ourselves of inappropriate attachments, to come to a deeper realization of what it means to be Muslim. And in your taking a step towards deeper holiness, that step benefits also us, your sisters and brothers in the Christian community. So we join you this evening, very grateful for your commitment to your religion, your commitment to your God. And we ask you to keep us in your prayers as we also pray for you. It is with very deep gratitude also this evening that we celebrate this evening in unity with those who have suffered in the past weeks because of violence that has been brought upon us by those who do not seem to understand the meaning of peace, and those who do not seem to understand the imperative that we all have as believers in God and as human beings to work for peace and to fight violence in our society. Therefore, I am deeply pleased that we celebrate Eid al-Fitr in the sign of peace, and that statements have been made which recommit ourselves to the peace process here in Mindanao. Let us together, we who acknowledge God, we who acknowledge our Lord, let us together continue to work and struggle for peace. We do this, of course, in trying to understand more deeply who we are, whether we be Muslim or whether we be Christian. To come to a deeper understanding of our own identities, as these identities are revealed to us by our God. Identities which would allow us to come closer to other human beings, other Muslims, other Christians, because of our one God. So as has been prayed, as has been spoken, as has been sung, let us together work for peace. Good evening to you all.